Have you ever published a blog post and felt like it was missing something major but couldn't quite put a finger on what that thing was? Or do you just wish that you had a simple punch list to make sure that every blog post included all the things you should be including? I'm Whitney Ryan, copywriter and content strategist, and in this video you'll learn the anatomy of a blog post, the 7 things you have to include to have an effective blog. The first thing you want to make sure to include is a compelling headline, because if you don't catch interest with your headline, nobody's going to read your post, so the whole rest of this is going to be for nothing. So you really want to do 2 things with your headline. I have my 2x2 formula for effective headlines, and the first 2 refers to the 2 things a headline must do, and that is to catch attention and to convince someone that it's worth their time to read your article. Remember, we're in this age where there is so much out there for us to consume that people are really picky with where they choose to invest their time. So it's more than just catching attention with a headline, because we could all say something shocking or crazy that would catch attention, but you've got to go that next step. You've got to really convince someone that this is going to be worth the 3 minutes or the 5 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 20 minutes that it's going to take to read your blog or to watch your video. So you always want to keep your audience in mind and make sure that you're presenting something and sharing something they're actually going to care about. And make sure to share that with your headline. Once you've created a great headline, you want to continue the process with thing number 2, a great introduction. Because we don't want to just jump into the meat. We want to kind of wine and dine your audience a little bit more. We want to warm them up for the post. And most importantly, we really want to give them reassurance that they're in the right place. They've seen your headline, they've said, that's probably worth my time, let me check it out. So you want to use a paragraph or 2 where you just reconfirm that. You give them a sense of, yep, this is where I want to be. This is going to be worth reading. So there's a few different ways you can do this. I love to use stories or anecdotes in the beginning. It can also be as simple as asking a question. At the beginning of this video, I just said, have you ever published a blog post and known something was missing but couldn't quite put a finger on what it was? Or do you want a punch list? So those were 2 things to let you know, oh yeah, I do want to know that, I'll stick around. So once you've got your headline and your great introduction, the next thing is quite obviously the body of your copy. And this is where you're actually going to be sharing the big piece of value. The biggest mistake that I see people make, and I do this myself all the time, is trying to fit too much into one blog post. Again, being in this age of information overwhelm where there is so much we could be reading, it's a really effective strategy to just zero in on one small tip, one small nugget, and make your post about that. If you can share one really great thing, piece of value, content, that's going to be a lot better than if you had 10 or 12 or 15 things that you were trying to teach all at the same time. So if the body of your post, if it feels like it's not working or it just feels off to you, consider that, because a lot of time that's the problem. You're trying to cram too much in, and you'd be better off breaking up all your ideas into some different posts. Another thing that you want to make sure to include in your body is subheads. So these are subheadings that break up your body copy into different sections. This really helps with people who are skimming, so they know which parts of the blog post are going to be most relevant to them, and honestly just makes your copy more appealing and less intimidating to read. There's nothing worse than when you go onto a blog and it's just, thousands of words, one right after the other without much breathing room. So subheads just give your copy that visual space, make it a lot easy and more approachable for people to read. The 4th thing that you're going to include in your body copy are interlinks. These are links that are going to link to other places on your website. These are so important, because once you've got someone to your post, once you've got that traffic to your website, high five, you did a great job, but you want to keep them around. You want them clicking so they can know you more and like you more and trust you more. And the more they can do that, the quicker you're going to build that relationship and the quicker you're ultimately going to convert them into a customer. So you want to make it nice and easy, and anytime you have something in your copy where there's an opportunity for a reader to learn more or to delve deeper with another blog post, make sure to link to it. You can include a related post section at the very bottom of your posts with blog posts with similar topics so that people can learn more. And you can also link to your pages. If I ever write a blog post on, say I was writing a post on 3 things to include in your about page, or 3 things your about page can't survive without, I would probably somewhere in that post link to my Work With Me page on my website for people who are interested in getting really compelling website copy, who are reading the blog post, just to give them that option to learn more, because chances are they'd be interested. So don't be afraid if it makes sense to also link to different pages. All right, thing number 5 is a graphic or graphics, but at least one. Blog posts that have a graphic get 94 or 97. I'll note the correct figure down below. I can't remember it, but I want to say 97% more views. So almost double the amount of views just by having a graphic. And this makes total sense. The internet is a very, very visual place. So it's really worth your time to take a couple extra minutes and make a graphic for your blog post. And if you've got some time, and if you like images, if you're a visual person, the more images you can put into your blog post, the better. These kind of work like subheads. They break up a piece of big copy into smaller sections, just make it a lot more digestible and a lot more fun. The 6th thing you want to include in every blog post is a call to action. You want to give readers one thing, not 10, not 20, not even 2, but one thing that you want them to do, one main action. And this can be very low maintenance or low commitment, like leave a comment or forward this to a friend or check out one of these related posts. Or it can be a little bit higher, like click to learn more about working with me, set up a discovery call, buy this product. So you always want to find the right balance. You don't want something that feels forced, but you also don't want to be afraid to really go in for the ask once you've shared value, if it makes sense. You want to get people used to responding when you ask them to do something. So even if it's something as small as leave a comment or share this on social or follow me on Instagram, you want to kind of train them to get into the habit of listening when you ask for something. So that's a little persuasion psychology tip, but you always want to make sure to include one call to action in every blog post. And then the 7th thing, this is a little bit of a stretch. This is a little bit of a square peg, round hole situation that I'm making work. But the 7th thing you want to include is grammatical correctness. None of us are perfect. You know, we all have typos and we all use grammar the wrong way, myself just as much as anybody else. But you want to have that level of professionalism with your blog posts. So it's worth it to just do a couple little things to try and make it as professional as possible and try and catch any of your typos. I have a video that I'll link to below with 3 things you can do to proofread your copy. Actually, I'll probably link to it up here now that I'm thinking about it, since I can do that with videos. But another tool that I run every single piece of copy through is Grammarly. This is a free tool, and they have a free version that catches all the big problems, and they have a paid version which kind of gets a bit more nuanced with grammar. But it's probably 30 seconds to a minute of your time to, right before you post, copy your copy, paste it in Grammarly, and it almost always catches something. I'm always surprised. It catches something that sometimes we as humans and as just practiced readers can easily miss. So those are the 7 things. So if you can keep those things in your blog post, you're going to have a really consistent, really strong, really effective structure to your blogs. So if you're liking this and you're feeling that itch to really get your blog under control, I'd love to invite you to my free 5-day blogging challenge later this month called Blog-A-Ween. And this is where we are actually going to plan out your first quarter of 2017 blog calendar. So it's 5 days long. Each day we're going to focus on a different aspect. And at the end of it, you're going to walk away with a crystal clear plan of what you're going to be blogging about each week, and you're going to have the strategy behind it to tie that into your bigger marketing goals and make sure that this is really compelling content for the exact type of person you want to work with. So if that sounds good, I would love to have you join us. You can sign up at whitneyryan.com/blogoween, or you can click the button below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.